Well, the city of Greeley has certainly been blessed with some wonderful spaces for folks to play and enjoy from our many parks, but we also have some other areas that you may not know about that. And I'm here today with Chris Scully, who is the Parks Maintenance Technician with the city of Greeley, and he's kind of our boots on the ground, right?
I am.
Yeah, all right. And one of the things that you help do for the city of Greeley is take care of those natural areas and trail corridors. There's a lot that's happened with those areas in the last 5 years. So let's start out, Chris, by telling folks what exactly is a natural area and how are they different from a park?
Sure. Thank you for coming out today. Natural areas in Greeley are lands that have been identified as significant value for conservation in Greeley. These lands they either have habitat or some sort of natural feature that we would like to remain in Greeley, and so we are managing it to keep those. As far as natural areas, they mostly have water components on them, such as the Cache La Poudre River or the South Platte River. Also, many of the lands have the irrigation ditch number 3 crossing over them, and either wetlands or small ponds and lakes as well. These areas are significantly different from parks or community parks in that they are dry land. So as you can see here, they do have grass, but it's not anything like the turf grass in a community park.
Yeah, I was going to mention we're actually in one of those areas right now, and one thing that I find interesting about this is how it's just kind of tucked within this neighborhood. You can see the backyards, if you will, of many of the houses that are here in this area, and that might be something new for folks that maybe live more on the eastern side of town. I know there's fewer areas such as this as there is on the west side. And as I mentioned, that has grown over the last 5 years. Can you tell a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. In the last 5 years, we've actually almost doubled our acreage. We had roughly 500 acres, like we say, 5 years ago, and with a GOCO grant, which is the Great Outdoors Colorado grant that we've been working hard on, we were actually able to acquire roughly another 400 to 500 acres, and we're approaching 900 acres of conserved land right now as either natural areas or trail corridor.
Now, I hate to even say this, but I'm assuming that with this additional land and again, folks living kind of out with nature, that there's some struggles, maybe a few strains that happens with that. Can you give us an idea of what maintenance looks like when it comes to that?
Absolutely. The maintenance is definitely different on these properties from community parks, and it is new for the city of Greeley to try and maintain these properties. Prior to the city owning them, they were managed mostly as open fields or just private conservation habitat. And now that we have them in our city inventory, we are trying to manage them in a systematic way. As you can see, these do have grass like we've pointed out before, but we don't mow them on a regular basis like you would see at Mofford or Bittersweet type park. We try to take a tread lightly approach to our management and go back to nature as our guide. We do mow the trails and the paths, and then also make a courtesy cut along the backyard fence lines of property owners. But beyond that, the mowing maintenance is very limited, and like I say, we try to encourage the native growth that is here.
Now, there's one more question is how folks can get involved and learn more about these natural areas and maybe help you folks out.
Definitely. All the help that we can get is definitely needed. Specifically, coming out and just enjoying these properties that Greeley has to offer is the number one. Come and take ownership of these lands. And beyond that, coming up in March on the 26th, the VOC, which is Volunteers for Outdoor Colorado, they've specifically approached us and would like to start having some projects in northern Colorado that are wildland related. So like I said, March 26th, we're going to be on Signature Bluffs Natural Area, and we're going to do some river restoration. And that we had some riverbank lost out at the flooding this past spring. And then we're also going to put some new surface material on the soft path in that property. It's an all-day project on that Saturday. The VOC, Volunteers for Outdoor Colorado, will put out specific information here hopefully in the next week or so that we will link to.
Okay, well, Chris, thanks so much for being out here in the wild with me today. The wild and the wind, right?
Absolutely. It's a great experience out here, even when it is windy.
That's right. So get out of those parks, head out to some of the natural areas. Be sure to watch that signage to make sure that it's an area that you are supposed to be in. And in the meantime, get involved, be a volunteer, and check out greeleygov.com/parks.